All right, math. What is it? Math is a science of measurement. It's an important tool of thinking that helps us survive and thrive. Some people think it's useless. Okay, well, if you say that when you work a certain amount of hours and you want your pay, math is useless. Yeah, right. Most people want to know if you work a certain amount of hours, how much you're going to get paid. There's math. We got arithmetic. We got algebra there. It's important. Or you're talking about losing weight. How are you going to lose it? How much is going to come off? You want to go from what to what? By what standard? I don't think people really think math is useless. It's important. Math is a science of measurement, measuring our weight, measuring our income, measuring money, measuring how much we have to spend on presents and stuff like that. It's important. Obviously, when you dig into reality and look at the facts, no one's going to quibble about it or say math is hard. You're going to say, yeah, figuring out how much you get paid is hard. Ha! Not! Or how stronger you want to get, how much stronger, or how much weight you want to lose, and so on and so forth. Not. How much does a car cost? How much does a house cost? Things like that. What's the payment, monthly payment, and all that? No. Ha. Math is important. Math comes from number. That's its root. It has to do with relating numerical quantities. That's what measuring is, relating things like that. This much here with this much here. So, how many hours you work affects how much you get paid. The more and the less hours worked gives you more or less pay. The more and the less here affects the more and the less here. Or in physics, you start out with pushing on the pedal, at a pre-mathematical level, the harder you push on the pedal in most contexts, the quicker you're going to stop. The more you push on the gas pedal without flooding the engine, and in most contexts, in a limited context, the faster you're going to go. You need to know that. And then we develop it specifically mathematically. And people better know that because they better know when you press on the brakes, how much pressure is there, how much other stuff. Mainly there's like pressure, push on the brake, fluid stuff, pressure, pushing the brake. You got pressure, force, area to help stop the car. You got to know for a certain weight of car what kind of brakes you need. They got to calculate that. So you don't spend too much on it or too little. You depend on it. Math is important there. At a pre-mathematical level what's going on, and behind the scenes, people have to do math to make you safe. If safety doesn't matter to you, well, yeah, math is useless, then you're saying your safety is useless. Or you want your little cell phone, people go around with little cell phones, math is useless. Ha, that's so cute. Takes math, like it or not. You got all this stuff going on you don't even know about. Some of us. Some do, some don't. Some need to learn, but no one knows everything. There are always unknown unknowns. There's things we know. There's things we know we don't know. And there's things we don't even know we don't know. Every one of us is like that. But on your cell phone, you got electric current. How do you measure the electric current? Current is flow. We're going to pick time. Makes sense. Seconds, minutes. That's already established through history. But then at one point in history, people had to figure out, okay, so to measure current, we need how much stuff. Like if you're running, you can measure your time, distance and time. Or you can river flow or blood flow, how much stuff, volume, mass is going through something in a second. Okay, so how much stuff, electricity, goes by in a second. Then you can measure current. We got to pick, this is 1 unit of current, and then twice as much as 2, 3 times as much as 3. You got 3 of these things. You got current. Without that, you ain't got your phone. You don't just like put in electricity and just like goes like hog wild partying in here. You got to measure it and know what's going on. Otherwise, you blow your circuits. You can't even try it. Try running too much electricity through this thing, or not enough. Ain't gonna work. You got to measure it. Or you want to talk. You talk. You make vibrations in the air that make something move. Picked up as electrical signals. Goes electrical signals in here. And then it becomes electromagnetism, waves going through space, picked up somewhere else, and then the process is reversed. waves, electric signal, something moves, the air, pressure changes, you hear it. So you can talk to people in real time really quickly. It happens super fast. You got to be able to measure it. If you want your voice exact, I mean, you know, people want good quality videos, good quality music, good quality conversations. That's mathematical, period. End of story. Math is important. Math is a science of measuring. Measuring with their voice, certain characteristics of it, how that relates to pressure and waves, these wave thingies in physics, and how the pressure relates to movement, and how the movement makes certain electrical signals, the strength and all this stuff, all these electrical properties, all these properties of the air and the pressure. You got to be able to relate the one to the other exactly and precisely if you're going to convey accurately and nicely the music we want to listen to or the voice, then pop it back the other way. Otherwise, ain't going to work. So I think math is kind of important. And it's a science of measurement, obviously. You know, again, we just got to think about it. Think about the facts. Where does math come from? Where does it come up in human thinking? You need to really understand math, what it is. You must contrast it with other things, and that takes a certain amount of context. Someone at a certain age can't do that, like it or not. And it takes a certain amount of life experience, wisdom, understanding of certain things. Math versus physics, math versus chemistry, math versus psychology, math versus logic, math versus pre-mathematical stuff. Where math comes from. You need to know some arithmetic, algebra, geometry, at least, and then some calculus and stuff would help. But algebra, geometry, arithmetic, and you can get an idea what math is in contrast to other things. What it studies, what it does, even though, you know, you look at evidence, look at the big picture, connect, then you'll see what math is. Some people, yeah, have some goofy ideas. You know, like some philosopher, it might have been Immanuel Kant, thought math came about by, we have the set of with 0 in it. And then we count that as 1. And then that was something else makes 2. And that was something else makes 3. Nonsense. That's the stupidest thing ever. It's amazing how these so-called intelligent people can make up such junk. No one ever learns math that way or how to count. I don't start out saying, oh, there's nothing, there's 1. No. You only start with number when you have 2 or 3. If there's 1, it's 1. Obviously. It's when we start counting quantity, 2, 3, 4, that we need number. And we need a word for it. There is when we start getting the root of math and counting. Math comes about by repetition of the same kind of thing in the world. And we can do things with that. And with concepts, with pressure, with cat, with dog. There's all these measurements. Cats have different color of fur, different length of fur, different sizes, different weights, length of tail, length of ear. There's all these variations we abstract away from and get the essence of what a cat is. And then at a higher level, we bring the measurements back. So with force, we know about pushing and pull. The more we push, the more or less something else happens. We get the concept of force in these cause-effect relationships. And then we can bring stuff back at a higher level. It's more sophisticated to get a unit of force. What the heck's a unit of force? People had to figure that out beyond weight. And, you know, some of that started happening with Galileo and Newton. We had to figure out what a 1 of force is, and then use that to compare. This is a push of 1, twice is a push of 2, 3, 4, 1 Newton, 2 Newton, 3 Newton, and so on. We get that, and that comes up at a higher, more sophisticated level once we get a unit of measure and can compare other forces, then can get that and compare something to, you know, compare to like something's acceleration or stopping distance, a certain amount of force, and you got to measure area, bring those together to get pressure. How does that relate to how fast, like how long it takes you to stop, the distance? So you got force, how it increases or decreases, and how that relates to the increase or decrease in your stopping length, for example. Then there's all kinds of other things with money, investments for a certain interest rate. How much money do you get over what period of time? We need math to deal with that. That's what we use it for. Math is not something else. Some people say it's gone beyond that. It's transcended number, and it's not about measurement anymore. And that's nonsense. That's like saying psychology has gone beyond the human psyche or the human mind. It's transcended it. Or physics is no longer about material things. It's transcended that, man. Like, whoa. Or what? Like the study of mammals has gone beyond cats and dogs. It's not about that anymore. It's beyond cats and dogs and milk. Milk has nothing to do with it. Whatever. Math is the science of measurement, not the science of someone's fantasy or someone's misunderstanding or their bad philosophy about what math is. Look at the facts, look at our thinking, look at what we actually do, not some false foundation someone attempts to put math on. When we look at the facts, as I say, look at the facts, look at the big picture, connect, contrast, it's clear math is a science of measurement. So that should come up in how we think about it, how we teach. That'd be would make it much more interesting. Some people think it's just symbol manipulation. How the hell can we do pressure and stopping distance if it's mere symbol manipulation? That's such massive context dropping. A context dropping of evidence, a context dropping of concrete instances of things, a context dropping of all these contrasts between math and everything else. Obviously not symbol manipulation. That's not empty and useless. If you're just pushing around symbols, then how the hell does it help us get to the moon or make money or lose weight or anything like that? That's nonsense. So there's the other things about, some people think math is different things, but it's wrong. Math is a science of measurement. That's where it comes from. And it's not always easy to figure out. Clearly some intelligent people have some differences about it. But as I say, look at the facts, reason, put it in context. Math is a science of measurement, and that will help us, as I say, appreciate it more, know its importance, teach it more, teach it better, I should say, learn it better, value it more. So, peace.